And a warm welcome to you with a new opening sequence, some new music to open a new football season. And today, in this climate of anticipation, with the real opening volleys just a week away, we've still managed to pack the programme with some good and worthwhile action. There's the FA Charity Shield, Aston Villa against Manchester City, with Lee, Bell, Marsh and the rest, against this fast-rising Villa side in front of a 35,000 crowd at Villa Park. There's also a swift look back at some of the moments to savour from last season. And, as a considerable bonus, I think, we've just got hold of some of the most astonishing European football action of the last few years. It's Bayern Munich, with Müller, Beckenbauer and company, being thrashed 5-0 on their own ground last Friday night by the European champions, Ajax of Holland, Johan Cruyff and all. Well, that comes up just a little later on in the programme, but first of all, we have to go to Villa Park yesterday, looking spick and span with the turf a most inviting shade of green for the Charity Shield match between Aston Villa and Manchester City. Villa fresh up from the third division, and something of a surprise in their lineup today. Alan Evans, their recent buy from Liverpool, is merely a substitute, so this is virtually the team that pulled them out of the third division. One crucial purchase in the last weeks of last season was defender Chris Nicol from Luton. A great game earlier in the week against Martin Chivers. Now he faces the heading power of Wyn Davies in this Manchester City side, potentially the most exciting and dangerous team in British football. City at full strength, and full strength means, of course, the showmanship of Rodney Marsh, beginning his first full season with Manchester City. But more than that, it means the return of Francis Lee, who had that breakdown at the end of last season. But he reckons now those boots are going to be worth 20 goals this season. But now, with that 35,000 crowd, let's join commentator Hugh Johns.
Referee today, Mr. Norman Burtonshaw, a great Yarmouth, gets the game underway. That's Manchester City on your right. In the white outfit, the sash across the chest of red and black. Attacking the goal on the left. First free kick of the game, and immediately the claret and blue shirts of Aston Villa scurry back towards their goal mouth. 3 men in the wall. It's Rodney Marsh, whamming one. Rodney Marsh. And those numbers should make it pretty easy for people to identify players. Numbers on each arm, numbers on the back, numbers on the shorts as well. Jim Coombs, goal kick for Villa. And to give him reassurance, he's given another chance to bang the ball upfield. Tommy Booth going under it, Donachie back. Andy Lockhead giving Joe Corrigan just a little bit of trouble. Nicol, a challenge from Lee. Right breaking on the right side for Villa. Bowden's in a good position. That was a good ball for him. The pass on for Wright. Did well. Good cross ball. Tony Towers, the hero for Manchester City. A first-class break then by Mickey Wright, the Villa right back. Colin Bell. Again feeding forward balls. This is Wyn Davies. Good challenge then from Ross. Norman Burtonshaw gives the advantage to Manchester City. Throw in. Can aim for Wyn Davies, who's come tight, or Doyle, who's broken down the left touchline. It's an awkward one for Coombs. As a speculative centre, I don't think he really intended a shot then, but it wound up as a curler, which would probably have crept in under the top right-hand angle. Coombs forced to play it. So, first corner of the game, Mike Summerby, Manchester City. That's a good one. Just over the bar from Colin Bell. Took it away from Tommy Booth, number 5, who was right behind him, but Colin Bell knocking the first real shot of the game, real positive shot of the game. Corrigan finding his length with his kicking now. It's Pat McMahon. Jeff Fowden. Colin Bell will have that. This is Marsh. And there goes referee Burtonshaw. Marsh penalised for knocking down Fowden. And referee Burtonshaw getting his own back, I think, on Manchester City for knocking him down. Mickey Wright for Villa. Anderson trying to turn against Donachie. Didn't get past. The free kick's given. Now, from the last free kick situation here, everybody was offside, but this time Villa are firing through until Bell stops them. It's Towers going forward for a change, getting caught. Aitken for Villa. Marsh coming at him. Aitken in some trouble there. Ian Ross for Villa. Booth getting up well again, despite the challenge of Lockhead. Ross. Rodney Marsh in trouble with referee Norman Burtonshaw. It's a free kick to be taken by Ross. Booth again, top man in the air. Colin Bell. Donachie breaking. A loose ball, really wasn't on for anything there. Doyle tried to make something of it. Didn't have much chance. Colin Bell. Towers. Mike Summerby. Summerby, who's only footed on the edges of this game so far, taking on Bowden, who has Aitken in support. Colin Bell offering his support. That's a good ball. Lee. Ross there, Doyle to try it. Ross still fighting for it. Lee wins and Wyn Davis. Good save. Big Wyn Davis. Didn't really get the meat of the boot to that shot, but it was an awkward one. It was the fire of Lee and Doyle in the centre of the 18 yards area that made the chance. Davis, a good shot, and Jim Coombs an equally fine save. Mike Summerby then with the corner. Coombs came well. Lee to hit it. Really topped that one. Really topped it. Andy Lockhead. And Tony Book. Summerby has stayed this side after taking the corner. Trying to pick up Bell, but Graydon read it. Jim Coombs, who could have done with some of this sunshine earlier in the summer when he was playing county cricket. Graydon giving it straight back to Donachie. Doyle. Book square on the right. Deep. Goes back even further. Tony Towers. Summerby racing down the right touchline, the ball never reaching him. Rioch against Lee, wins the throw-in off him. And Lee indicating that Rioch ought to be at least 4 yards further back for the throw-in. I quite agree with him. Whoops. That was Anderson's legs gone, and referee Bertenshaw's reaching into his back pocket. I don't know whether he's taken the book out. It's Summerby. Well, Summerby goes in the book. And we wonder now whether that is a 4-pointer, 3-pointer, or 2-pointer. Could have been dangerous play, in which case it's a 4-pointer. Could have been a foul tackle from behind, so it's still a 4-pointer. Or it might just have been ungentlemanly conduct, in which case he might get away with 2 points. Colin Bell, who's been stoking up the fires for Manchester City in midfield, but they haven't really got to grips with this game properly yet. So the free kick for Villa. Aitken with it. Who timing his jump perfectly again. Wyn Davies getting hold of it for Colin Bell. Challenge from Greg. Good one too. Right, McMahon. Rioch way back to start with Ross. McMahon. Oh, good tackle by Doyle. Marsh on the break. Wyn Davies as Chris Nicholl comes to him. Colin Bell to try one. Was always on for him to have a pop at goal then. Struck it firmly enough, but didn't cause Big Jim Coombs any real problems. Braden taking it away from Book. Anderson trying to get there. Donachie out and Colin Bell taking over Manchester City. Summerby free in midfield. Book is breaking way on the right side, and it's a good ball for him. Lee joining in. Marsh way back for Towers. He's aiming for Davis. And Nicholl timed that perfectly. Awkwardly too, with the sun in his eyes. Marsh. Doyle. Bad ball. Ross away. Lockhead. Ball just wouldn't run for him. Mike Doyle. Bell. Doyle again. Big call of let it go for the goalkeeper, but Nicholl played it. Mike Summerby with a shot on. Mike Summerby giving it the clapper that time, the scorer of 3 goals in the league in their championship run last season with Manchester City. Hungry to get his name on the score sheet now. Cry of get up Andy, and he did that time. Pushing in the back then by Willie Anderson on Donachie. So a free kick to Manchester City. Well, the gap between the side that was in the 3rd division last season and the side that very nearly won the 1st division championship, not tremendously apparent at this moment of time. Certainly not reflected in the scoreboard, which is still no goals. Mike Summerby for Marsh. Aitken coming to give it another bite. Marsh beautifully done. Finally Nicholl getting a boot in the way. But Rodney Marsh turning on a little of his skilled trickery in that run. Trying to coax the low one across the face of the goals, when perhaps the chip for the far post, where Davis was loitering with intent, might have been better. Anyway, it's a corner. Mike Summerby with it. That's Rioch away. Summerby Way back for Tony Brook. Doyle. Plenty of men still in the box. One of them's Davis. Down for Marsh. Oh, what a fabulous shot and an incredible save. Jim Coombs. What a grin on that fella's face. A county cricketer then, and that was the sort of reactions that makes first-class slip fielders. Marsh denied a goal by absolute brilliant reflex action by Jim Coombs. He couldn't have seen that ball. Just did it by instinct, and he did it all right. Corner, Somerby. Lee. Ambitious then. Franny Lee. The ambitions and confidence of a boy who whacked in 35 goals last season. Fully shown in that speculative long-range shot. Lockhead knocks it down. Aitken having to scramble a bit sharpish. Ray Graydon, not much of this game left. Not much of this first half left, that is. This may be Villa's last despairing attempt for a goal in the first half. Willie Anderson, as Donachie comes very tight to him. That's a useful ball. Lockhead! Graydon! Oh, no, that was a useful ball. Graydon was the last man to have a go at it. Lockhead the first. As Somerby breaks back for Manchester City. Franny Lee on the right side. Support from behind by Doyle if he wants it. Ross there to cover. We're in stoppage time now, and the only real stoppage we had was when Somerby was booked. Who's losing contact with that ball. Anderson fighting against Donachie. Towers, another of these bright youngsters, losing out that time. Anderson. That's a fair ball for McMahon. Yes! On the near post. Corrigan making an excellent grab. Right on the near post. Slick moving in, thinking by Anderson and moving by McMahon. Good anticipation by Corrigan. And indeed, there is the half-time whistle. So, the Charity Shield at this moment, its destination, which boardroom it's going to, undecided. No goals on the board, and the fella most happy about that, I would think, Jim Coombs, for the fabulous save he made from Rodney Marsh. We'll be back with more football in just a few moments. I hope you'll join us then. Welcome back then, as referee Norman Burtonshaw notices that Villa have made a substitution. He's just checking on it. There it is. Alan Evans is on for Andy Lockhead. The lad who started with Wolves, as Villa kick off the second half. Alan Evans, who started with Wolves, went to Liverpool, joined Villa just a few weeks ago in a £70,000 transfer deal. Put in there now to get some goals to change the scoreline. There's Anderson. Turned out to be a good ball into the box. McMahon challenging for it. Well, Willie Anderson's shot for goal turning out to be a pass to this chap, McMahon. Hooking it over the bar. There's McMahon. So Alan Evans in action. His first competitive game for Aston Villa. He got his first outing against Spurs in midweek. Didn't look too sharp, put on a little bit of weight, but now given 45 minutes to get into action. That's Davis winning in the air, going for Marsh. Mickey Wright sticking tight to him. And Wright winning that challenge. Somerby now. Doyle in midfield. Davis. Towers to hammer one, and only against Ross. It's a bit high and awkward for Graydon. Not a good ball for him. Towers constantly eager to get into the action. Aitken then for Wout. Mann taking over. Slow to turn and then get restarted. He's running into trouble. It's Davis who robbed him. Davis puffing out his cheeks and getting up a good head of steam here. What support? Gets it from Somerby. Somerby's still going. Oh, he did that beautifully. Ross puts it away in the corner. Mike Somerby never gave up, with determined running then. Saw the gap between two defenders, kept on going, chipping that ball as he hoped across the face of the goal until Ian Ross knocked it away. Corner right side, and the man who started it all, Mike Somerby, will take it. Nicol puts it away again. Well, the defence a little bit confused, I think, with the sound of a whistle. I'm not sure whether it was referee Burtonshaw encouraging to get on with the corner kick, or somebody in the crowd with a whistle. Anyway, it goes for a corner on the far side. Francis Lee will take it. Tommy Booth, the big number 5, is standing right up in front of Jim Coombs. Knocked away by Ross. Ian Ross, like Alan Evans, a buy from Liverpool, and proving a very, very valuable acquisition. Davis losing out in the air against Nicol. Rodney Marsh. And Colin Bell. He meant that as a shot, but it was a bad one. Bell having to slow things up because Villa had come out to play everybody offside. Didn't catch Somerby, though. Took his eye off the ball for a second. Good chance wasted. Now Aitken. Corrigan coming well. Push in the back by Ian Ross on Wyn Davis. Marsh taking it off Manchester City. Well taken out by Aitken. McMahon now, a little push forward for Drake. And Villa on the break now. Rioch picking up Anderson. What a poor ball. Promising attack breaking down. Ian Ross now, start him going again. McMahon for Aitken. McMahon delayed it, let Somerby bite. Davis and Lee in a right old kerfuffle, so Villa back on the attack again. Rioch. Good ball. Anderson. Mickey Wright's gone on down the right touchline. There's the cross. Somerby knocks it out. And a chance for McMahon, took it much too early. Much too early. Rodney Marsh then for Lee as Manchester City weather that little storm and go back into the attack again. Good ball, Rodney Marsh. Rodney Marsh beautifully getting on the end of that. Fine run by Franny Lee. Marsh the first timer. Rioch breaking well for Villa. Tumble down by Mick Doyle. The foul given, the free kick given. But the advantage lost. So, a free kick situation for Villa to exploit when they can get the ball back. Mickey Wright, number 2. Graydon, the fair-haired boy, number 7. Bruce Rioch, number 4. Graydon the touch. Rioch the shot. And it's a good one! Just into the side netting. Bruce Rioch unloading a real pile driver with the left foot. He really gave that one some stick. Marsh down. Somerby. Somerby still trying to go it alone. Very, very decisive signal by Burtonshaw, referee Burtonshaw. Free kick came to nothing, though. The advantage was frittered away. Free kick signalled by the linesman against Tommy Booth. The tackle on Alan Evans, a free kick then to Villa. Aitken. Evans, a good flick on. Oh, a shocking tackle in by Bowden. Good job they didn't go straight through. Rodney Marsh. Bell. Doyle. That's Marsh. Waiting for the ball, and Ross didn't. Ross needs some help down in that corner, though. No, he doesn't. He gets out of it all by himself and gets a real roar from this crowd. Right then on for Rioch, who picks up McMahon in midfield. Anderson screaming for it this side of the park. The advantage breaking down now. They've given City a chance to go back and cover up the holes. Manchester City ball. Franny Lee. Summerby. Colin Bell. That's good running by Summerby. Something on here. A penalty. That's what it is. Summerby taken down by Jim Coombs. Referee Burtonshaw points dramatically to the spot. And we're probably going to see the greatest penalty expert in the business. Franny Lee, British record holder with 15 last season, trot forward to score his first competitive goal of the season. Well, let's just see. Franny Lee then. As the Villa fans try to put him off. Summerby, remember, tumbled down by Coombs. It's Lee versus Coombs. It's 1-0 Manchester City. 25 and a half minutes into the second half. Francis Lee, a superbly struck, perfectly placed penalty kick, makes it 1-0 Manchester City. And there is the scoreline. So Manchester City here in their 6th occasion in the Charity Shield final at the moment. 1-0 up and looking as though they might win it for the 3rd time. Their previous victories, 1937 when they beat Sunderland 2-0, 1968 when they pulverised West Bromwich Albion 6-1. Aitken long for Evans. No problem for Corrigan. Ross then for Vag. Now Aitken. Evans, a good knock ball for Vag. Still with it. Something useful building up here. Until the Doyle removes Bowden's legs. Referee Burtonshaw very positive with his signal. It's a good break developing. Now we've already seen Rioch unload a left foot shot from long range. I wonder if he's going to do the same thing with this free kick situation. Francis Lee indicating where he thought the effects took place. Rather anxious wall. Aitken, the Villa man, who is on the edge of the wall. Number 7 is Graydon. Franny Lee is trying to block off any attempt by Rioch to hammer a shot. Lee doing a backward ballet and might get in trouble here. And Bowden to try a shot. Nicol, and now Rioch. Cannons off everybody. Ian Ross. Not a well-aimed ball that time. Well, we're getting down to the final stages of this Charity Shield game. About 10 to 11 minutes left. And that penalty kick of Francis Lee's the decisive factor at the moment. Tony Book. Mellor in some difficulty. Against Wright. Won't let him past. Linesman indicated a Manchester City ball. Referee Burtonshaw says no. Marsh taking over for City. It's a fair ball. Bell, it was just fractionally wrong eventually. Jeffries. Rodney Marsh didn't get there. Willie Anderson taking off for Villa. Boy, he can really fly down the touchline, but he's slowed right down. Summerby is back there to stop. And Towers. Neatly done. Summerby there. Oh, what a bad ball. Aitken. It's Bowden trying to get under it, knocking it down for Evans. Ball hung in the air, it wouldn't come down. Mellor, long striding legs going down that left touchline, and Mickey Wright staying tight with him. Dogged little bit of defensive play by Mickey Wright. Aitken. Aitken for Villa as Rioch comes back to offer himself for the pass. It's Rodney Marsh getting in the way, free kick. Pretty unintentional, really, as the two players firmly display by that show of friendship. Chris Nicholl, number 5 for Villa, with the free kick. To the flick off Marsh. Ross, the last man in defence, as he's so often been this afternoon for Villa. Now Villa basically have got only Nicholl and Ross in positive defensive positions. Everybody going forward looking for the equaliser. Graydon on the ball at the moment. Broke for him, he's going to try one. A little trickler, left-footed, going for the near post. Corrigan was there. Tony Book. Late challenge then by Mickey Wright, giving the free kick. Referee Burtonshaw having a word with Colin Bell, saying if anybody's going to do any talking here, it'll be me. Referee Burtonshaw's had another look at his watch as this Manchester City attack builds up. Summerby joining in. Jeffries. This is Lee. Jeff Bowden, the challenge coming from Towers, and a positive one it was, as usual. Colin Bell. Oh, a gift of a ball to Bowden. Bell has misplaced quite a few of his passes this afternoon, but it doesn't matter anymore. The game is over. Francis Lee's penalty kick gives Manchester City the FA Charity Shield with that 1-0 scoreline. As Francis Lee, the most deadly penalty kicker in the business, and he's done it again for Manchester City this afternoon.
Well, the pictures there came from ATV. I suppose it's fair to say, by their own high standards, Manchester City were a little disappointing. I heard Malcolm Ellison describe it afterwards as a good training match, which I suppose it was. So only a penalty separated the two sides. There's no doubt about it, it was a fairly given penalty. That ball from Colin Bell, Summerby chasing after it well. Jim Coombs, you'll see there, taking Summerby's legs. I suppose the tragedy for Villa was that Mike Summerby probably had given it up for lost in any case. The ball probably would have gone out without him reaching it. Francis is a thumper when it comes to penalty. Coombs knew that. He moved, in fact, before Francis hit the ball, but even then he really had no chance of getting it, and that's the penalty that decided the Charity Shield. Well, now let's meet the man who conceded that penalty, Jimmy Coombs, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, because after the game, Hugh Johns asked him what he thought about Francis Lee, the penalty king.
Well, I'd made my mind up which way I was going to go already, but of course, you know, he clips a good penalty, and even though I went probably the right way, he hit it far too hard for me, I'm afraid.
Really was beautifully slotted in.
Oh, yeah, he takes a good penalty.
Did you have any grouse at all about the award of the penalty kick, Jim?
It's very difficult to say. I'd like to see it myself. You know, obviously I probably watch it on the television, but I wasn't at all happy. You know, I thought that he'd given the ball up, and I'd almost given the ball up. I suppose in many ways I should have just left it at that, really, but you sort of follow through, and I was a bit sloppy, and I suppose he gives the penalty, and that's it. There's no point in arguing.
Quite a day for you, because you were obviously the man of the match as far as the first half was concerned, with that incredible save from Rodney Marsh.
Summerby, way back for Tony Brook. Doyle, plenty of men still in the box. Waddams-Davis, down for Marsh. Oh, what a fabulous shot and an incredible save.
The look on your face as you sat on the deck afterwards seemed to make me think anyway that you hadn't really known very much about
No,
it.
I hadn't really. As Rodney sat down, you know, and he just sort of looked at me and started to laugh. And I mean, I had to laugh myself because I think I knew even less where it had gone than he did.
What actually makes you take off in a situation like that?
I don't think you know, really, Hugh. I think it's a matter of training, that's all. I think the ball comes and you react, and then afterwards you think, well, why did I react? And I think it's just something that comes natural after working at it in training.
What are your reflections on the game today now? Third division champions last season. Did you feel at any time that you were out of your class against a top side like Manchester City?
Amazing, really, Hugh. I think City played as a compliment of coming here to defend. I thought that they contained us very well, but I mean, for a first division side, probably one of the best in Europe, to contain somebody just come up from the third division is a great compliment to us.
The Villa goalkeeper, Jim Coombs. In fact, Manchester City also did a fair amount of attacking, and we saw some genuine skills from Rodney Marsh. I would think it's fair to say that Marsh and George Best probably take more stick than anybody else from away crowds, but I would also venture to suggest that Rodney will drag men from their firesides more than anybody else just to see his skills this winter. We saw some good points of Rodney Marsh. We saw his aggression, but I think it's this sort of thing. Well, here he's fighting for the ball here. He was very aggressive in times, and this is something obviously that Manchester City are beginning more and more to instill in him. He fought for that ball all the way across the width of that pitch, but I think this is the sort of thing that we know better. The little pass out there from Summerby, and just watch how he tricks Aitken here. There seems to be no way in such a confined area, but he slips the ball impossibly one side of Aitken, and then goes the other, and then aims this ball towards the near post, which is cut out at the very last moment. He also seems to be working in well with Manchester City now. He knew just where Francis Lee wanted to put this ball, and he was there on the spot. In fact, he was just a little bit off balance and put it wide. But we had that magic moment that we've already spoken about with that save from Jim Coombs. Doyle playing it here and turned in for Marsh after Wyn Davis knocks it on. A superb piece of goalkeeping. And also a lovely bit of play. Look at Norman Burtonshaw there. Good also to see a referee emotionally getting involved with the thoughts of the players as well. So that was one of the magic moments of the Charity Shield, and there we are. We've had the pipe openers. The real stuff, as I say, starts next Saturday.